CEO of WNS Global Services and also the current chairman of NASSCOM. He holds a bachelor's degree in commerce and is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Mr. Murugesh has had an illustrious career which involves transforming organizations through a focused strategy-led approach and turning around 2 US-listed companies. He received the California Business Leader of 2013 award in the corporate sector by the ICAI and is a recipient of the Asia Pacific Entrepreneurship Award in 2015. Mr. Murugesh has been recently recognized as the CNBC Asia's India Disruptor of the Year. He is an industry evangelist through NASSCOM and CII and created very powerful social initiatives that impact kids across the world. With a huge round of applause, please welcome our chief guest, Mr. Keshav Murugesh, to address the audience.
Morning, everybody. Good morning. And first of all, a very hearty congratulations to each one of you.
Thank you.
You are all very, very special. It's so good to be back here at ISME, and the only person you have to thank for that really is Dr. Indu Shahane, who, being the visionary that she is, saw this mega trend well in advance, spoke to some of us, pushed through this program, and what a pleasure it has been for us to be a part of this program. I also want to say, as I interact with everybody here, that for me, I've been on many stages, I've been on many platforms, I speak at various events, but let me tell you that every time that I'm on a platform that has great teachers on that same platform, I feel so humble and I feel so special. So thank you so much, Dr. Shahane, for inviting me and having me on the same platform as Dr. Vijay Khole, as well as our very distinguished teachers who are also on this very great platform. So thank you very much, and so nice to be here. I want to also, recognize, every one of the teachers of the institute who have been very closely involved with, whatever is being done here. And I must say that for 8 of you graduating, just look at the number of people around you. That's the kind of support and that's the kind of impact this institution and this program, brings and builds in order to make sure that each one of you are immensely successful. I want to also welcome the parents of these wonderful students. I think the investment that you have made in, I won't call them children, in these youngsters who are going to lead the way in terms of global businesses is outstanding, and you should take great pride in it. I have a few, numbers that I want to talk about, and I'll explain to you why this investment, and to you also, why this investment is really worth it. I sincerely think that this area of data analytics is probably the coolest area of the future. It's probably going to be one of the coolest jobs available. And I don't say it. In fact, research actually says that 64% of all data analysts who are polled say that this is the coolest job that they could have ever gotten to. But more importantly, you guys should know 90% of people in this field are contacted for a new job offer definitely within a year, and 50% of people in this sector are contacted for a new job offer at least once a month, and 30% of this population many times a month. So you can just imagine what kind of pressure the parents will have to go through in terms of influencing and advising this, this batch, as they make some very important decisions in the long term. Now, in terms of just the data explosion and the kind of impact and the kind of opportunity that is available to us, I just want to read out a few statistics. Every 2 days, we create as much information as was available from the beginning of time till 2003. Just think of that number. Similarly, over 90% of all data that is available in the world today was actually created in the last 2 years. Now add to that the number of millions of messages going out every minute, the millions of photographs that all of us are posting on Facebook or some social media site, the number of emails that we are sending out, the kind of impact that Google has in terms of just connecting people every minute of the day. Just think of how much data is now available, but that's not the end of the journey. The reality is, how are we actually going to use all of that data or leverage it in such a fashion that we can create sense of it, we can create business impact with it, or we can create analytical insight with it, right? And that is what Dr. Shahane, and the Institute, along with WNS, has tried to create in you over the last 1 year, right? The whole focus on appreciating and understanding that what the Prime Minister said last week is absolutely true. What Dr. Shahane said 1 year ago is absolutely true. And what people will say in the future about this area is also going to be absolutely true. This is going to be one of the greatest enablers. And therefore, my request to each and every one of you is, understand that this is completely a new virgin area for you to work in. You can paint the picture the way you want it. You can decide to work in a company. We're going to teach you. You're going to be with WNS. You will have opportunities to work with us. You'll have opportunities to work with others. But be very clear and very thoughtful about how you are building, your future. Be very responsible about appreciating what impact you can have for the world at large. So that's my biggest advice to you. I must say that while all of us think of this as a big, great opportunity, and at WNS, 20% of our revenue is now being impacted by this area, the reality is we are all just scratching the surface, right? We still, all of us together, have not been able to appreciate the total impact of this area, and we're at the most just touching little bits of it. So the opportunity, again, I must mention, is huge. Just imagine what is possible with the whole digital proliferation that is happening around us. The whole area of RPA, Internet of Things, AI, ML, cognitive thinking. I can go on and on. But the impact of all of that and what you can do, and obviously other people in your area can do, in terms of leveraging it, using all of this, and solving day-to-day problems of a customer, a problem of a company, a problem to resolve world hunger, disease management, running the country, running the government. This is really, the opportunity in front of all of us. In terms of India itself, I think we are going to be the data refinery of the world. That's the word I'd like to use. At NASSCOM, we used this adage, think digital, think India. We hashtag it and we keep on talking about it. But I sincerely think that India will be the data refinery of the world. And I think people like you will actually enable that. But to do that, what we are doing at an India level, driven by NASSCOM and great institutions like this, is really to make sure that we are reskilling and creating a future skilling platform for young, smart people to really train themselves and be ready to really manage this digital kind of revolution. And finally, I will end by saying that as you go into the world, there are some key attributes you must focus on. Your colleague Tejas spoke so well about some of the expectations. I will say that one of the things that each one of us must develop is animal spirit. The biggest opportunity in India today is to create jobs and not look for a job. Create jobs by creating a startup. At the most, what will happen? You may fail. So what? Just remember how much demand there is for people like you and for smart people. And frankly, sometimes failure also is a great learning. So think of it. Build that animal spirit. Try to create something new. Be curious. ask the questions, test every kind of proposition, and just go out and create an interesting new signature and new journey of your own. All the very best. Thank you all very much, and it's so great to be here and in the midst of so many of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those words of encouragement and wisdom.